Hey guys, it's me, Steve Vaughn, here with another video discussion. Today we're continuing on discussing Dr. Stone, and this is the video where I'm going to be further discussing the gift or the immortality in Dr. Stone. So I want to start off by saying, like, even though I was reading the manga chapters or watching here in the anime, seeing Senku and the others, whenever they were petrified, especially for a long period of time, I never inherently really gave it much thought on the immortality of the Medusa until, its taboo nature came to light in chapters 198 when they were all talking about it. I just figured, it's just the petrification. They're just literally turned to stone. That's why they're not aging. They're just turned to stone. But I didn't really give it much thought until, like Hyoga, where everyone where Tsukasa confirmed he died, but then because everyone got petrified, thanks to Joel broadcasting Y-Man's signal to the Medusa, caused everyone to get petrified. Hyoga's fine. He's back to life. And then I was like, okay, this is interesting. I hope this comes back into play, or maybe like the other Kingdom Science crew learn about it, and now they are learning about it thanks to learning about Y-Man when they were on the moon. And Y-Man's like, you know what? We want to give you guys immortality. We're using this as a lure so that we can get what we want. We want what we want, and you guys are going to give it to us. In return, it will have everlasting youth. And, like I said in my previous video too, I thought Y-Man, or in this case the Medusas, were there to preserve the Earth or something along those lines. I could have never been more wrong than I am right now. Like, it was all generally, everything they were doing was generally for their own benefit. They were just looking for the most intelligent humans so that they can, enact their plan, get them to understand how they work, so they can be like, hey, okay, you want eternal youth? This is how you use us. You want more eternal youth? You want to make sure you can keep getting that eternal youth? Make more of us. Make more of us so you can have this eternal youth. And everything else besides that eternal youth just comes along with the Medusa for power and control and all that other stuff that could be the fallout of mankind. And now they have the existence of the Medusas. Now they have the existence of the fact that the Medusa can heal. The Medusa can preserve you, essentially. Any injury you get, don't matter. It's gone. You can use the Medusa, petrify yourself, revive yourself, and bam. It's like it never happened, basically. All right, look. Realistically, if this was happening here in real life, with the Medusas and everything going on, humanity would be fighting each other for that Medusa device. More than just for the immortality, just for its other properties. I mean, think about it. You could petrify your enemies and then smash their stone statues. They're never coming back. Like, we've already seen that in the series where if you've been petrified for too long, it becomes eroded too much that you cannot put these guys back together. Like, there are just some statues, I bet even out there, that have broken apart that we haven't seen Senku and them come across, that they probably did, that they just couldn't revive, and we just didn't get to see it. We just, because the globetrotting, they just went around reviving people, and we just see all them here and there. Everyone's happy that they revive them. They're fine. No PTSD. No nothing. No like, we don't even get to see them get to question Senku and crew. They're just working with them. I get it. It's the whole, like, getting humanity to work together, the best parts of humanity, and so on and so forth. But I would really, now that we got this, the Medusa in play, and they really want humanity to get on this whole immortality train, to see them all fighting each other, or at least, duking it out to gain this immortality, or just seeing this other side, like seeing, and also getting Ishigami Village to see this other side of humanity, seeing the perversion of science in this way to attain their greed and desire for immortality and healing and all this other stuff, to stay young and all that. To see this other side of humanity, it'd just be really cool for Dr. Stone. The Medusas taught because think about it, Medusas sort of taught the people of Treasure Island how to use the Medusas. Like we see in that panel in chapters 229, they were like, we wanted to teach these guys, we found this signal. It's a faint signal. It's not that strong with signal. We found this faint signal. It's on, what we know to be Treasure Island. We're going to throw a Medusa down. We're going to teach them how to use it so that they can be intrigued by it, learn by it, and be like, okay, we want to make more of these. We want more of these. And the little girl gets petrified. And then what I like to assume is that most of these guys, Maxikaze and the, Ginro excluded. I believe that's his descendant because they're all descendants of the astronauts. They all fought over for the Medusas, which led to Yubara later getting it during the events, before and during the events of the Treasure Island arc. And if there are bad people in this world, kind of like when Ukiyo and all of them were voicing their concerns when they were, before the Treasure Island arc, after they revived Tsukasa, and they're like, when we start reviving people, what about all the, evil and bad people across the world? You're like, forget that. And, that guy went out the window, when the old globetrotting reviving all of humanity after the South America arc, when they got revived 7 years later. There's, reviving people, across. There's no real concern. We don't even get to see, like, them reviving someone and he just happens to be bad and they just petrify him again or something like that along those lines. So we don't really get to see how they deal with that fact, reviving certain people, because I doubt that Senku and all of them know each and every person that they're reviving. So it's kind of a risk that they're taking when reviving certain people. But luckily, they just happen to revive, all these people in no trouble, no problems, nothing. But we look at the story of Dr. Stone, where we talk about all the innovations and stuff that humanity's created over the years. Film, pictures, kind of like what we see in the story of Dr. Stone, them creating film and pictures, the hot air balloon, the speedboat, the actual boat, creating creating their light. It's just other magnificent inventions just watching Senku and crew go step by step, crafting certain, creations and tools and inventions to get them along their way, to get them what they need to do. And just learning how it's also made. And it's really cool. And then also seeing humanity come together for this common threat, which is Y-Man. And then also just see it come undone once, immortality comes to play. It plays on the desire and greed of humanity, and then just the perversion of being able to create and build upon, because it's not just the, because Zeno kind of represented the bad, the evil nature of science, using science for your own benefit and all the other stuff. And but this would be like a great perversion of it. It would be really, really, really interesting. I mean, and I think some people would probably do it. Create, hey, hey, I got this research. I'm a scientist. I could live forever working on my research and my science. It could be me working on it for an eternity. I won't have to die, leave my research to someone else or, anything like that. But I'm just stating certain possibilities of how this could all come undone with the nature of immortality, more than just the fact that it could cause overpopulation. I mean, the stakes are already there. Y-Man could just petrify them all over again. But really all Y-Man wants, Medusas, but I'm going to keep calling them Y-Man. All they really want is just for humanity to make more Medusa devices. And also put batteries in the old Medusa devices that are, still there. Dead, kind of. I'm still not sure. Are they dead or alive? I wonder if we'll ever get confirmation on that. That'll be really interesting. But in what Senku and them are going to have to do to face off against humanity to kind of, show them that this, we don't need the Medusas. We don't need the immortality or anything like that. You guys don't choose to work for Y-Man. Don't choose to build any more of him. So that's what I love. It's going to create serious stakes, especially since it might cause people to, if this does happen and they get a hold of a petrification device and some dude just turns somebody into stone and then breaks their stone statue. That would, oh boy. Kind of like with Zeno. Zeno's kind of wanted to still take over the world, but he's working with Senku and the rest of the Kingdom of Science. More, some of it because, he's the mentor to Senku, but also just because, Y-Man would get in his way of, world domination, and he can't really have that. And then later on, just he kind of becomes fond of everyone, and so on and so forth. I mean, he would call himself the dark side of science, and he's one of my favorite characters in the story. Like, Zeno's my favorite character in Dr. Stone, and he loves science just as much as Senku, but he doesn't have really more of the whole helpful side. He's more like the dangerous side of science, in a way, so to speak. I mean, the dude wanted to be a freaking dictator to the world, and he was ready to do it. Like, he was okay with shooting Senku. He was okay with, like laying waste to everyone in the South America arc. Like, he was okay with it just so he could rule. So it's possible someone might do the same later on. I mean, come on. I mean, no one's questioning the events or anything. I mean, the rest of humanity is just there just to facilitate everything else. For Senku and the Kingdom of Science crew to make this rocket and everything else. It would have been cool to see some more of humanity's agency in the story. Like, why haven't I aged, or my illness is gone, or what's going on, or just other people having their own agenda to find out what's going on and causing more conflict and, interference with what Senku and the Kingdom of Science crew are doing. It would be really interesting, and I would have loved it. All right, so what I've been discussing in short so far in this video is that I could foresee possibly the fall of humanity in this story. Just maybe like a temporary fall of humanity. Like, it's just a temporary fall. Just we get to see this brief perspective of the crack in humanity, that dark side, that dark part of them that's just like that greed. Like, come on, is anyone gonna really tell me they wouldn't want immortality? Maybe just have a taste of it, experience it. But literally, they're only immortal so long as they're petrified. So long as they're petrified, they'll remain that same age forever. But once they break out of the stone, how long will you keep them like that? Will you periodically petrify them? And for how long? And how long will this person want to keep being petrified, trapped within their own mind while they're petrified? I mean, that'd be really also cool to see anybody who might have gone insane for being trapped like that for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like, it'd be really. I'm just saying what I would love to see if we go this route with the Medusas trying to get humanity to, create this, create more of them, and they give them immortality. Seeing people who might go insane from being petrified so many times, or being trapped inside their own mind to keep, or being forgotten to be revived, and they break out years later, or they get accidentally cracked and they can't be revived, and they're just stuck like that. I mean, because I don't think they are dead if they're just stuck in petrification forever. Kind of like shoot, I can't remember the kid's name. I'll have it on the screen. I can't remember his name, but he's literally the heir to Treasure Island, the chief heir, and his dad was the previous chief. He's been petrified for ages and broken apart, but he's withered way too much to be revived. So I don't like. So is it like, is he dead? I know it's sort of like he's dead because he can never come back to life. He can never come back, see his son and all that. So I wonder if they're just like trapped in the stone. Is that even worse than death? That's another thing about immortality. Like, someone just keeps petrifying people and they're trapped. They can never truly die. They're just trapped in the stone like that forever. Like, I know Senku says when Tsukasa smashes a stone statue of someone, you're like, hey, you killed someone. And then we later learn that, most broken stone statues, so long as they're not weathered too much, can be put together and revived. I mean, I would like to think that those people are still inside. Just, it's kind of really dark to think about it like that, considering the tone of, at least somewhat of the tone of Dr. Stone, but But if this ever should occur, should they take Y-Man's deal? Should they take the immortality and then agree to keep making more of the Medusa so they can keep attaining and keep this immortality? It could lead to the fall of humanity in a sense, or it could advance it. But more, I'm leaning towards more that it'll lead to the fall. I mean, it could lead them to advancement. They'll have to create far more advanced technology to make more, to make the advanced components of the Medusas. So they'll have to advance, but it also could stagnate them. You won't need, injuries no longer won't be a major issue. Just petrify and revive. And there you go. You're all healed from any injuries you've had, and maybe possibly any illnesses. I know it didn't kind of revive Suika's eyesight, I don't think. But it did kind of help out with that he had Kaseki. Yeah, it helped out Kaseki's arthritis and many other things for other people. So, you won't need doctors anymore. Illnesses and diseases won't be a thing anymore. Death sort of won't be an issue anymore. I know I'm stretching this a bit and going a bit too far, but I mean, really think about this. Like, Hyoga was near death, and he came back, and he's alive. While they may advance in technology to create more of these Medusas, it could stagnate them in a way. They won't advance anymore. Humanity may not advance or go any further. What for? They can live forever. They can heal from anything. There's no need. They'd be safe from all diseases, most likely. Let me know what you guys think about the immortality being, displayed here in the Dr.Stone story. What do you guys think of it? What do you think is going to become of it in the story? Do you think humanity will take on Y-Man's deal, or do you think they'll refuse? What do you think Y-Man will do if they do continue to refuse, and what's going to happen from there? You think they might have any other abilities we still don't know about yet with the Medusas? So it's going to be interesting to see. Let me know what you guys think and your thoughts. Comment below. Let's discuss. Let's have a discussion. And just hope you guys are enjoying whatever manga or comic you're reading, whatever anime or cartoon you're watching, whatever TV show, movie, game, or anything else, book, whatever you're reading, whatever you're doing, whatever nerdy thing you're doing. Just hope you guys are having a good rest of your day or night, and I'll catch you guys later.